Alright, y'all, welcome back to the Complete Husband's Handbook podcast. My name is Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about castles and palaces. Now, I know that may seem like a weird topic for most people, especially given that this podcast is supposed to be about making men a better husband. But it's a way that we as men view our homes. We tend to hear this thing, every man's home is his castle. He's the lord of the castle. And where all that is well and good, let's kind of delve a little deeper into what a castle is built for. It was built for war, built for defense. It was a place usually up on a hill, thick walls, ramparts, places to shoot arrows out of. It was a place for the folks in the area to run and hide if there was an invasion. It was mostly made as a status symbol, let's be honest here. It was put usually in a place where everybody could see it for miles around. And it basically said, I'm here, I'm in charge, I'm going to do what I want to do, period. And during the age of the conqueror, they were usually scattered throughout the countryside. Every few yards, or, well, not yards, but every few miles, there would be a castle or a fort to kind of say, hey, I'm here, I'm big, I'm bad, y'all can suck it. Over time, however, since the quote-unquote age of empires has ended, they've become centers of government, administration, even justice. You can look at the Tower of London, Windsor Castle, most of the castles throughout, England, Europe. They've really turned into places of government where people can come air their grievances in front of a judge or magistrate, which is mostly what they have over there. And you can find some kind of restitution, or at least some kind of verdict on, yes, you're in the right, no, you're in the wrong kind of thing. So where it translated from physical dangers to more administrative ones, more, is the law on my side? So it's still a way to govern the people, just a mental one as opposed to a physical one with swords and horses and such. And they typically had thick walls, let's be honest here. They were built to be hit. They were built to destroy. They were built to last. And you can even look at some of the ones in Germany, which are absolutely gorgeous, or even some in Poland, Austria, France. They're just absolutely gorgeous, but they've been around for hundreds of years. And they were meant to build that way. And that's kind of how men see their home, is they're supposed to be a defense against the world, a defense against the crap that happens, a defense to make sure that the offspring and the spouse can go there, feel safe, feel protected. It's usually how men kind of see the world in that warrior mentality of, it's me against the world. I have to fight. I have to protect. And where all that is well and good, and we like our trappings, whatever that may be, whether you're a sports enthusiast with the jerseys and the helmets, or you're into cars or whatever that is, and your house is kind of littered with, oh yeah, back in the day, Dad did X, Y, or Z. That's great, but the home can't be all about you. It has to be shared. And that's where the other half of this coin is, the palace. Women typically view their home as a palace. It's built for elegance. It's built for a certain amount of luxury, depending on the woman. Some women like a bit more luxury than others, and what's luxurious to one isn't necessarily luxurious to the other. They have a lived-in feel. You have pictures of family. You have sofas. You might see a bin of toys in the living room, or magazines, or each room you look in it and it's like, okay, people live here. Not that it's dirty, not that it's cluttered. It's just you can tell people live there. That's the focal point of their life. It's a meeting place for friends and family. It's a place for people to come over. Women tend to like to entertain or go to other people's places to entertain. Women tend to be more social than men are, let's be honest. So they like their house to reflect that. Where castles are a bit more linear in why they're built, palaces have a bit more adaptability to them. Whether you're having friends over, there's a certain amount of expectation. You're having family over, there's another amount of expectation. You're having the parents or in-laws over, expectation gets thrown up to 1,000%. But still, it's a place for people to come, sit, relax, enjoy, eat, and just be restful, I guess would be the best word to put it. Palaces are places for rulers as opposed to conquerors. We men, we like to feel like we've conquered something. Not in the bad way, but in a sense that we've established something. We've accomplished something. We've completed a task. And that's why castles were built. They were built for conquerors. We're here, we're in charge, deal with it. Palaces were not built that way. They were built later on when the government was established, when there was a foothold and people could go, and the people understood, not necessarily who was in charge, but they understood that this was life. So they could go there without fear of any repercussion. They could say, hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me? Yes or no? And usually it was yes. Palaces tend to have gardens. They tend to look nice. They tend to have the aesthetics, painted well. You look at it and you just have that kind of wow factor. Softer colors, beautiful plants, well groomed, well established. It's that kind of homey feel we all kind of feel inside whenever we go home after a long absence. There's an instant comfort that you feel. And again, they've been established for growth, for nurturing. So you're going to see the royal family there in its entirety. Mom, dad, kids, maybe cousins, maybe even multiple generations living under one roof. And that's meant to establish longevity, not in a sense of, we'll have rulers forever, but a sense that it's a home. It's designed to grow. It's designed to nurture peace and love and family. Whereas castles where they were built to last, they were more military installations. So fellas, I pose this to you. Have you found that balance between the warrior outlook on life of a castle and your wife's desire for a palace? And trust me, it's a delicate balance. Sometimes it's a bit more of a palace, sometimes it's a bit more of a castle. Sadly, the age has gone by when men had a den that you could walk into. It's kind of the man's area, quote unquote, and you could see dad's trappings, and you could see that's just dad's room. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could walk in and he's got his TV or his radio or whatever, his stuff, while the rest of the house is established for the family. Those days are gone. And so it's really hard for us men to kind of feel like the home is ours. We have a place in the home more than just the garage. Which sadly, that's what happens most of the time. So there's a balance that needs to be found, and there's a balance not just for ourselves, but for our spouses too. We can't have our wives feel like their only place is the bedroom and the kitchen, because that's just not right either. If they have a particular hobby or skill that they like to use, or things of that matter, make sure that they have a room that's theirs to do with whatever they want. My wife is an author, and she has a room that's her office. Once we get a house, we'll take a lot of the stuff that's in her office out that has nothing to do with her work. But it's a way for her to feel, this is my area, this is my space, this is my stuff. So that she doesn't feel just attached to the bedroom or the kitchen or any of that, random stuff. It's just hers. It's her domain to do with whatever she wants. And us men need the same thing too. We need a place to call ours. We need a place to allow ourselves to transition from single to married to fatherhood. And over time, our trappings will change. You'll kind of transition from the Letterman jackets and the early adulthood conquests to family, spouse, kids. And it's just one of those things that you will find those trappings change, because what you want out of life will change. So, fellas, keep in mind that there is that balance. And the house can't be a castle forever. Nor can it just be a palace. There has to be a balance where your desire to defend and protect is great and it's needed, and that's why you have it. But you can't have a place that's defensible that's not lived in. You can't have a place that's built to last that nobody wants to go to. So keep that in mind, and I'll look forward to talking to y'all on the next one.